So, good day everyone. I am Joshua Aniken Acosta and we will be talking about the similarities and differences between the Arduino Uno R3, the Counterfeit, and the original. So, let's get started. So, first we are going to compare the microcontroller chip used by the Arduino Uno R3, Counterfeit, and original. So they both use the same microcontroller, which is the Atmega 328P made by Atmel company. So it is packaged in a dual inline with 28 pins. So as you can see here, this is our microcontroller chip. So it is labeled as Atmel Atmega 328P. So it has 28 pins total, 14 pins on both sides. So next is the USB controller. So for the Arduino Uno R3, Counterfeit, and original, they have the same USB controller, which is the CH340G. So next are the input-output pins. So for the Counterfeit and original version of Arduino Uno R3, they both have the same pins. So they both have 6 analog input-output pins. So here are the analog pins labeled from A0 to A5. So next, they also have 14 digital input-output pins with 6 pins compatible with PWM or pulse width modulation. So they are labeled with a curved dash line. So here are the digital input-output pins labeled from 0 to 13, and these curved dash lines represent the pins which are PWM compatible. So they are the 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 11th pins. And lastly, they also have 8 power or ground pins. So the power pins are connected here. So we have the VIN or the input voltage pin, 2 ground pins, a 5-volt power source pin, a 3.3 volt power source pin, the reset pin, and the IO ref or the input-output reference pin. So the next thing that we are going to compare is the other components included in the controller board. So here we have a P-channel MOSFET transistor. So the packaging is SOT23. We also have the 5 volts regulator. The packaging is the SOT223. We also have a 3.3 volts voltage regulator. The packaging is SOT753. We also have the resistor array, the 0805 LED for the TX and the RX. So the 0805 here is just the packaging. We also have the VIA, which are the small holes which can be seen all throughout the PCB board of our Arduino. So here, for example, as you can see here in my Counterfeit Arduino Uno R3, there are multiple holes here. So they might seem useless, but these are the VIA and they are responsible for connecting some of the parts of the 2 layers of our PCB board. So the layers of our PCB board for the Arduino will be discussed later. So we also have the 0603 resistor, the M7 diode, which is the packaging is SMB, and lastly we also have the 0603 capacitor. So take note, we also have here our Polyfuse or the resettable fuse, which protects our Arduino board from the 5 volts power input. So for our Counterfeit here, it is a 1805 Polyfuse. So this is the Polyfuse, a gold-like chip. So the label here is 1805. While for the Polyfuse for our Arduino Uno or R3 original, it is labeled as 501L. So it is here. So next, we have the PCB layout or design. So the Arduino PCB layout actually consists of two layers. The blue and red colors correspond to different layers. The yellow lines represent the electronic components to be connected at the top of the PCB through the VIAs. The purpose of these VIAs is to connect a specific part of a layer to the electronic device or to the other layer as shown in the diagram. Here, I have encircled some VIAs which connects the electronic device or pins to a layer, and I have boxed some VIAs which connects the two layers. So next is the PCB quality or the quality of soldering. So here in the left we have our counterfeit product, and here in the right we have the original product. So as you can see here, okay, the design in the back of their PCB are not the same. That is because the new part, the original, has a new design. And also, as you can notice here, the new design has the shape of the country of Italy, wherein our counterfeit here does not have one. And for our quality of soldering, they are almost the same, and they do not have any particular differences between the quality of soldering. So next is the memory sizes. So since our Arduino Uno R3 counterfeit here is just a counterfeit, but they have the same versions of Arduino, so their memory sizes must be the same. So we have the flash memory of 32 kilobytes, the SRAM we have 2 kilobytes, and for the EEPROM we have 1 kilobyte. And lastly is our microcontroller clock speed. So what do we mean by the clock speed? So this is determined by the crystal oscillator of our Arduino Uno R3. So where is our crystal oscillator? So our crystal oscillator is this silver oblong shaped component here. So let me turn this around. So it is labeled as Y16000, while for our original here, our original is labeled as SPK16000G. So even though their labels are not the same, probably because of the different manufacturers that manufacture this crystal oscillator, they still have the same clock speed, which is 16 megahertz. So they have 16 megahertz for the clock speed. And that is all for our comparison between the Arduino Uno R3 counterfeit and original. And thank you for watching.